Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. We got an exciting show for you tonight. We've got this vivacious gal. Let's see if you know her. Charlie Grace in the house.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. And we want to thank Charlie and you all for being patient with me last week, not doing a What's Up Wednesday. If you saw my video posted on Sunday, you kind of know there's been some things going on in my YouTube life and life in general. I'm on medicine. So thank you, Charlie, for being patient and everybody for being here tonight. And we are going to have Charlie as our guest. If you've met her in real life, we've met her several times over the last year, right? Most recently, let's see, Peace, Love, and Vans, Van Fest, Space Codes,
Project Van Life,
Super Show,
everything,
right? Everything. So we're having a lot of fun together, and we were excited to have Charlie on. We've been talking about this for quite a bit of time. So it's kind of about Charlie tonight. Solo female traveler. Got a lot of questions for her. You probably do too. If you got a lot of questions about what's going on in my life, I'll be happy to answer some of those at a high level, but we'll save a lot of that for next week. So we can be respectful of Charlie's time. But she's got a really amazing stories. And one of the things you're going to learn is she's been through Tornado Alley in the last few days. That's probably one of the things I'm most terrified about and get asked about. I have no idea. I would just drive as fast as I could the opposite direction, if that's possible. So let's kind of show. Do you want to say hi to the folks and just do a quick intro?
Sure.
Really?
Whatever. I am at your disposal. Absolutely. I'm here. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
it's sort of fun. Oh, geez, I'm full screen. There we go. Hey guys, I'm Charlie Grace. Welcome to my Winnebago Echo. I am a fun YouTuber. I'm on the tube, I'm on the talk, I'm on the gram, I'm on the plant, I lovingly say, but I also have a website. And I love to share my story to inspire others and get people out on the road and do what I call their life list, not so much a bucket list, but travel to the places they want to go to and see the people they really want to see. So I really appreciate everyone being here tonight. It's really fun to see these people in the chat. I've met quite a few of you. I missed you already. I wish I could see you guys again. Oh my gosh, when's the next big event? We'll have to talk about that later.
I know, right? It's true. And let us know tonight where you're watching from on planet Earth. And if you don't see your flag, I think we'll show that in a little bit. We'll put your flag on the map. Let us know what your local fuel and weather is. That's always of interest to anybody that's traveling. And then this is our question format, particularly for Charlie Grace Adventures. 3 asterisks, 3 question marks, get your question more readily seen and answered more quickly. And if you have a comment for sure that you want to be seen, this is the format, 3 asterisks, 3 exclamation points. And then here's the flags that we know are being seen. And let me just, Charlie, we talked about some things coming up, talk about some events. So we got a lot of live streams coming up and I'm excited about that. So let me just kind of share that with folks. Next week we're doing Ask Me Anything About Van Life. I'll actually be coming at folks from a cruise ship, the Utopia, Royal Caribbean boat. I'm traveling for free because Kyle's pretty good in the casino, so that's pretty awesome. And then I'm really excited for the next week. We talked about this briefly, Charlie. Road Trek, Len McDougall's going to be on. He's the VP of Sales North America. Now, they did have a shutdown factory-wide this week due to tariff concerns. So they're, as far as I know, we're still on. I'll send a note to Len and the team. It may not get an answer till next week, but as far as I know, we're still on for this. And I love the Road Trek product. Really well-made camper van made in Canada and the Westphalia as well. And then the following, or that next Friday, Friday the 25th, I'm going to do kind of a focused on the Dolphin SS, how I finished van life a little more quickly than I expected, a little more dramatically than I expected. So we're going to post that and have the Embassy Owners of Wannabe group. Sherry, I see you in here, so I'll send this to you. So we're going to do that a week from Friday to kind of bring that to a close. And we are going to actually do some more content about the dolphin and some other things embassy, even though I'm not in it any longer. And I'll probably share a few of the pictures during that live. So there you go on that. And then I'm really excited. We had Van Life Outfitters. We love Josh and Zach, right? And we had them on just before Peace, Love, and Vans, and we discovered that, and awnings. So we've invited them back to talk specifically about awnings. They carry several brands, manual and automatic, and they're going to come talk about awnings specifically. So you want to be that. Now, Charlie, you have an awning on your kind of a bat wing. Is that the best way to say it? So it goes around.
I got a couple awnings. You know, when I go big. So I've got two.
Do you use your awnings?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. I have an Alucab awning, and I have a Carefree awning, which is not carefree, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, fair. And then all these will be on my website. Some of it is already on GoSmallLiveLarge.com. So let's kind of dive in with Ms. Grace here. Let me just I'm still kind of in a I'm drinking two things tonight: water and medicine. And here we are. Okay, wow, we got a lot of folks in here. So, Charlie, just tell us a little bit about, let's see, which one am I on here? This one. A little bit about your background, because you are a bright star in every crowd, right? And but maybe just kind of tell folks a little bit about your background, kind of your career, home base. Just kind of give us a little intro in case folks aren't familiar with you, as some of us are. And that would be very helpful. That'd be very helpful.
Sure. Not a problem. Well, first off, I've really embraced what I call media pretty much my whole life. So I've worked in media, whether it be as a photographer, photojournalist for many years, writing comedy for a lot of things, or writing content for marketing and other publications and things like that. So I have done I can't even count on my fingers and toes how many album covers and things like that I've done for the entertainment industry. My mother's side of the family is primarily in the entertainment industry, and I have a lot of friends who are singers and songwriters, musicians. I grew up outside of Nashville, Tennessee. So anyone who loves Music City knows that music just, it moves your soul, and it's pretty much been what I've been in my whole life. Then I had the opportunity of moving to Chicago, had all my wonderful kids born in the Chicagoland area. So I went from a small southern town to the big city, and had that big city opportunity of working in Chicago and LA and doing some comedy writing. Yeah, wow. Which is cool. So if you know me, I'm a little vivacious and I like to make people laugh.
And this is kind of yes, you do. And this is a good example. And apparently you can levitate on demand. You're just always a bright spot in any crowd. It's just always fun. And sometimes you kind of roll up on people and hello. And it's just been great. So where was this taken? And wait till you see the next levitating moment. Where was this one taken?
So there's a story behind this. Everyone says, why do you keep jumping? I'm like, well, my kids, I would send them pictures of what I'm doing and where I'm going and working. And they didn't think I was actually there. They thought I was photoshopping myself in them. So as a joke, I said, okay, fine, I'll jump. And so then that became a thing where I would just jump for fun. I'd send the picture back. So this was actually, and you've been there, this was at Guntersville State Park. This was an event at Guntersville State Park on 4th of July, and not 4th of July, I'm sorry, St. Patrick's Day. And yeah, it was a good time.
That is a beautiful state park. The lake, the cliff, the building, it's like a Marriott up on top. It's funny you brought that up. I've stayed there with the Russos last year, I think. They did a little camp out in the back where the tents were. But this is where I actually went to the 2019 RV Entrepreneur Summit. Mm-hmm. And it was in March 2019, still cold. Got to meet Keep Your Daydream, Mark and Trish, quite a few folks there. And it really kind of pivoted my thinking. I'll never forget, and I was also there, RV Entrepreneur Summit was going to be in person. Everybody showed up, and then COVID, it flipped to virtual while we were all still sitting in the campground. It was so weird.
We were there. I was there. You were there. I was there. Everyone's looking, going, what do we do now?
What do we do now? And I was so mad that I thought this is going to be serious when they closed South by Southwest in Austin, which was going on like next week, I think.
Yeah.
And it was, so that place, and my cat Luke was there. So I got a lot of fond memories, Lake Gunnersville, and I still actually have a $85 credit on a gift card. I'll have to go through there. And it's a really cool area up there, right? That northern Alabama corner. It's
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. So tell us what this one is. This one is levitation, man. That is getting off the ground. He's like, what is that woman doing?
This is really cool. This is a van this is at Peace Loving Vans. And this is a van that was specially built by Moxie out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And they got it from Canada. It's a diesel Ford, and they put this fiberglass top on it. And I just thought it was a really cool van. I actually almost took that home, to be honest with you. I love that van a lot. And the guy in the back is one of the ones who built it. And I'm like, oh, I'll just do a funny shot. And I jumped, and he's like, what?
That's a great team. I've actually done a video with them, Moxie.
Yeah.
And Site 7 is there in Chattanooga as well.
Yep. They've got two really good van builders in one small space. That's a big deal.
It's pretty crazy. Let's talk about van life just a little bit. I love this photograph. It's kind of a famous, Instagram photograph, but just kind of tell us a little bit, and then we'll, I see some questions stacking up here. This is great. Thank you folks for doing that. So you've had a couple rigs. Is this your first RV was your Travato?
No, actually, this is sort of funny. I have a Goldilocks story. So I started with a small Class C, and I'm trying to think what year was it? 2017. 2017. Realized it wasn't typical story. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. It wasn't exactly what I needed. So then I went the other extreme. I got a really big one, and then I'm like, okay, this is way too much. So I was going to a few meetups, like RVE and other things, and talking to people. And I actually met a woman named Johnny's Journey. She has a YouTube channel. She also has a van building company, Midwest Van Builders, now in Fredericton, Missouri. And she and her wife had a van. And I looked at this, and I thought, this makes more sense to what I'm doing. I'm not carrying around a bunch of kids. I'm not, it's me and the dog and that kind of thing. And all of a sudden, within like 6 months, I'm looking at vans. And I'm like, I was really serious about this. So the irony is, I always say it's the most expensive doghouse on wheels, because it's all about the dog. The dog has to be comfortable. And I work on the road. So, but I got this. This is a 2020 chassis, 2021 build. So I got this one 2021, technically, right in time for COVID. Yay. And I put 55,000 miles on her, and I still own her. I still have her as we speak. So I haven't gotten rid of this van because it's paid for. I have a very large family, and we'll put her to good use.
Pretty crazy. And this is not a Travato. I was mistaken, right? This is a
Sequence? It's a Travato wannabe.
So this is kind of the familiar floor plan, 2 twin beds, rear bath, and the galley behind the driver's seat. And what's your pooch's name? That's
Rosie Bell. That's Miss Rosie.
Rosie Bell. She is so not into the camera. She's like, what's outside? Squirrel.
Yeah, she's a rescue mutt who's pretty darn famous in her own right. So
in her own right, we got a great group in here tonight. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let's. So you've kind of did this. You've had a few different sizes, and now you're in the Echo. You've been in the Echo about a year. Is that
June? So I got it in mid-June last year.
So it's coming up pretty quick. Wow, it's hard to believe. Why larger? Biggest difference?
You know what? It's interesting because a lot of people go from a van, especially couples, they go from a van and they just want a little bit more room. And this sort of is like, it's outdoorsy enough. It gives you that rugged feel, all those kind of things you want to do outside, but it gives you that square box where you just feel like you have much more room. It's the same floor plan-ish with a little added bump, but I love it because I do a lot more outdoorsy, overlanding and things like that. But here you can see I was urban camping in Erie, Pennsylvania.
I've never been to Erie. I do love urban camping. Proud of you for doing that. Good job. And how does Rosie Bell take to the rigs? Just fine?
She has been a travel dog since I had her. I think I got her when she was like 7-8 weeks old. And at the time, I took her places here and there. I think she thinks every time she's when I open the door, it's like Narnia. Like you just don't know where we're going to be. I think she has a goal to pee in the lower 48 states. So we're getting her there.
So do I. Just kidding. Although I am missing my tiny separate tiny, I must say. I did tank duty here. Anyway, does she feel a difference between the sequence and this, or
She does actually. It's there's a lot I can say about it. I mean, the temperature control is the pivotal one. You know, when you travel with pets. Now that I've been doing this for so long, I actually did write a book, How to RV with Dogs. I put it on Amazon because I wanted to take all those lessons learned that I found and make it in a concise area. I have, you know, a little bit of animal background, you know, working with pets and animals my whole life, but this was something I thought, you know, we really need to talk about safety when we're traveling and making sure that you're safe as well as your pet.
Yeah, 100%. Well said. So one question to answer, then we're going to shift and say hi to some folks. And here's a new Echo owner, Bill and Joe. But how does your family think about this traveling business?
They're like, bye, Mom. Bye, Felicia. No. They're good. They really like it. My kids are in their 20s now. They're, you know, learning how to adult, and I'm trying to give them ample opportunities to you know, make some mistakes and have a little space for Mom. So this is good. And I come back, I sort of rubber band back and check on everybody. And I love my family. I love them. And sometimes they come out with me, which is nice.
Which is cool. Yeah. That is super great. So here's Bill and Joe. They've just getting into an Echo 2025
Yes.
Winnebago Echo 22A. Is that
That's the Transit. They're Trecos.
That's right. They're transit folks. Having mods done. Purchased at Sunshine State RVs. We love Sunshine State RVs.
Nice.
So thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Sherry, thank you for checking in all these past days in Albany, Georgia. This is great. Here's Eric in the house in Pooler, Georgia. Yeah, did you hear about this too? Greg Schultz. Justin texted me that. That's pretty sudden as well. This is starting out to be a crazy year. I thought it was just. Here's Rob in the house. We love Rob and Willie. They're discreet urban camping in Riverwalk in San Antonio. That was probably one of my first places to really get my urban camping on. I paid $5 for a surface lot 2 blocks from the Alamo, and I got hooked. It was kind of a happy accident. So I'm glad to see that. Is great there. Here's David in the house. Rain and sleet. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Ooh.
It's cooled off here. I don't what's weather where you are, Charlie?
It's nice now. We're in the 70s.
In the 70s, besides tornadoes. It's cool off here. We don't have to have the AC on overnight, so this is super great. Justin, good to see you, Justin. And Charlie,
Happy birthday, Justin.
Some BLM land in Western AZ. Good to have you here, sir. Here's John in the house. Sedona. Oh my God, have you been to Sedona?
Oh, I love Sedona.
Sedona it's so pretty. You get to stare at the rocks all day, right? And watch
I like Jerome. Have you been to Jerome outside of Sedona?
I have. Oh my God, one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I was in a very dark mood, and my stickers reflect that. But I had a great time in Jerome, and we'll go back in a minute. Feeling a little better. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Here's John and Jane, Byron, Illinois. Yay. Let's see. Appreciate you being here. I thought I saw Sue in here. Here is a question from David. My dear Charlie Grace, why did you originally get into van life? Wow, what a great pivot.
Great question. I think it was the agility, the ability. Once I was already in quote unquote RV life and I saw what I could do in RV life, I really wanted the agility to go places that I couldn't get with a bigger RV. Honestly, that was part of it. And I like having all of my, I don't want to say stuff, but more importantly, my dog. I want to make sure that where I went, she could go too. So it made it a lot easier for me to go places and spend more time and travel. You travel differently in a van than you do any other RV. And that's the way I like to travel.
Yeah. And it's really true. And I think having been in and out of 2 different vans over the last, 5 weeks, you're exactly right. And in a bigger rig like an Echo, you have a little more leeway on stuff. And I've already found that I've got too much stuff in here. I've completely reorganized moving back into this. So I'm having to. I almost have Ginger Walkabout syndrome. She had 3 skillets. Turns out I got 4 pairs of pincher tongs. I certainly don't need that. I'm like, that's something we don't need. So, yeah, it does kind of make you kind of reprioritize. And even just looking at my van, it's David saying it was such a treat to meet you at Peace, Love, and Vans. Where's my cursor, Scott? Right there. And here's Peggy saying, good to see you. Yes, it's good to be seen. It's been quite a ride this. Here's Bobby, Wilbur, and Steve. Appreciate you all being here. Here's Sharon in the house. She's an amazing lady, waiting to leave in May. She's actually headed, Charlie and her Travado to Alaska.
Wow.
A place I will not be going. And thank you. This, by the way, we're simulcasting on with approval from Charlie on your Charlie Grace Adventures. We want to. Rosie says the Broken Nomad. So this is from your channel.
I know Rosie is not going to. Unfortunately, she is taking a nap, but I appreciate that because we don't want her barking. So.
Yeah, life list. I kind of like that too versus bucket list, right? Here's an interesting question Peggy has. Charlie, are you retired? How do you afford all the travel? And do you travel full time?
It's a great question. I would say I'm sort of what I call I'm not retired. Let's start with that. But a lot of people to do this lifestyle do need to work. And I do work remotely. I work, I won't say I'm a digital nomad, but I work remotely. I typically have a lot of meetings. I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of stuff early in the morning until about the afternoon. And then I travel in the afternoon and get to where I'm going to be for that day. And I like to stay put for, a few days, if not a week. I like to travel slow and not fast. So that gives me a little opportunity to sort of work and check out the places I'm going to be visiting.
And full-time versus
so I don't like to say full-time. I'm an anytimer, which means I can go anytime. So a good example is it was raining cats and dogs this past week, tornado stuff. We'll get into that. And I really wanted to go waterfall chasing. Guess what? I can just pick up and go chase waterfalls. I'm good.
Are waterfalls just the coolest thing?
Oh, so cool.
I love waterfalls. One of my bucket list things is to climb a frozen one. Although I'm terrified of heights, so that would really be a bucket list check off. But what's the 2-level waterfall outside of Portland on the south side of Columbia River? If you haven't been there, ladies and gentlemen, it's worth going to Portland, Oregon, just to see that. You know which one I'm talking about?
I do.
It's got a huge fall, then there's a bridge, and then there's another fall. I'll stop for a waterfall any day.
Waterfall Wednesdays. It's Waterfall Wednesday.
Waterfall Wednesday. Here's Steve. Whoops, Steve right here saying he's sitting next to Bobby with Wilbur.
Aww.
We love Wilbur sipping some wine. And Wilbur says, "Hi, Charlie Grace." That's so funny. And Peggy's like, "What? Oh my God, new rig!" And we're still going to post the video we did, Bill and Joe, with the Nomadic Euphoria. That's where not so big Bill anymore, and I did a shower demo, so we have to go get that on. Pretty funny.
Shower scenes. Oh geez,
I know. Here's Matt O. Happy Woo to all who celebrate. Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Here's David Peacock. This is from Charlie Grace Adventures. Rosie's friend, the doves. Oh, cool.
Oh my goodness. And my dog's been chasing birds for days here. So
that is so great. So here's David's got a question for you. Charlie, you were selling me on those tumblers that stick to the counter and don't get knocked over. So maybe explain what that is.
Can we talk about this? I am so getting one. Hold on.
Yeah,
do you know what? Oh my goodness.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, hold on. I'm coming back. Okay. Here we go, guys.
I'll go full screen here for you.
Ooh, it's exciting. Okay. I have nothing to do with this company. I just have to say this out loud. I'm not an affiliate. I probably should be, but I get no money from these. These are called Toadfish. I love Toadfish. As a company, they give back. They do a lot of environmental stuff. But what they do is they have this little thing on the bottom. It looks like a suction thing, but it's really not. But when you put something in it on a flat surface, you can't spill it. You could bang it all day long. It's not going to move. But when all you have to do is just gently pick it up and it comes up You can drink out of it. Good to go. And they come in different sizes. So I bought the 22 ounce and I bought the 10 ounce. And I love these things. Absolutely love these things.
Wow, that's really cool. I'd never
So
heard of that.
I do a new product Monday video.
Oh, yeah.
They're short videos. And when I find a product that I think is interesting, I'll just give a little review. And I gave a review of all the tumblers I've ever had in the past 10 years.
That's pretty cool. Let's talk about something you've probably never been asked about, Ms. Grace, and that is van life safety. So travel safety. And I think ladies get asked about this more than dudes. I guess we're supposed to be stronger, tougher, and dudettes are not, which I completely disagree with.
Yeah.
A lot of dudettes are pretty tough. But just kind of give us a little, you sent me a couple pictures. So just how do you kind of deal with, this looks like you're at the, where
Space
are
and
you?
Rocket Center. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in Huntsville, Alabama at the Davidson
Alabama,
Space
right?
Exploration. Yeah, right over there. It's really cool.
So just kind of share some of your topics, how you've learned over the years, not to be afraid and be able to kind of get out there. Because I think it's something that a lot of folks are concerned with.
So planning is important to a lot of people, and it gives them a sense of security. You know, I'm planning on getting from this point to this point. Helps them a little bit. But I always say, trust your gut. It's important. If you feel uncomfortable at that gas station, if you feel uncomfortable at that parking spot, if you get to where you thought you're going to be and it's not as savory as you might think, move. It's okay. Give yourself the ability to feel uncomfortable. It's okay about that. A lot of women try to say, oh, it'll be fine. I'll grit and bear it. I'll deal with it. It's important to feel that way. That's number one. Number two, make sure you have tools to assist you to get you out of a possible unsavory situation. Now, I will admit, I've been doing this a long time, and I've very, very, very rarely had to rely on these tools. Most people talk about pew pews. Not going to go there. I'm going to talk about pepper spray. Simple, right? The whole idea behind pepper spray is to spray, get out, get going, do what you got to do. So I'm a big proponent of pepper spray. Pepper spray is for people. Wasp spray is for wasps. Bear spray is for bears. Please make sure we know those three differences.
And by the way, you can't enter Canada with mace, just in case you don't know.
But it's sort of a weird thing on those things. I know, but it's important because a lot of women ask me, they talk about wasp spray. Well, shouldn't I get wasp spray? And I said, no, in certain states, it's considered attack with a chemical weapon. So we need to be aware of that.
Aware of that. And I think you're right on the money with just a gut feel and looking at be situationally aware. I think it's part of it. But you'd like to travel with a lot of folks. We got some cool pictures coming up, ladies and gentlemen, with some of the cool events you've been to. And I could and should, I will be now, now that I have to have a chauffeur, traveling with others. So have you ever been in a scary situation that's worth talking about? Yeah.
Yes. I actually made a reservation at a campground. Sounds like something very typical, right? Very simple. I made a reservation 6 months in advance at a specific campground. I was going to an event. It was on my way to an event. And when I got there, it just felt a little sketchy. Not exactly. And I'm not talking, I don't need to always go to a resort. That's not where I'm going with it. It just didn't feel right. And when she put me in my parking space, if I showed you pictures, you'd be like, oh my gosh, it would make Cousin Eddie look like he's going to the prom. It was very run down. And I'm not saying anything about that, but the people and the fighting and the noise level and the arguing and lots of things like that, it just didn't feel right. So what I just made a decision to turn it on, and I found myself a Cracker Barrel, and I was actually more comfortable there.
Yeah, 100%. I got asked at the Peace, Love, and Vans event that I did doing urban camping, because I do that a lot. And Joe Russo talked about this as well in the talk before I gave. And it was a hard lesson I learned. I've never really been in a sketchy situation, except strangely at a Harvest Host in Palatka, Florida. 10:30 at night, this big rap on my window. And I'm in a place where it's okay to park. And being not a state of mind of situational awareness, I just opened the door and there's this gal standing there panhandling. And after I scolded her and closed the door, and then she went and knocked on the people's door next to the other RV next to me, I thought through that situation that evening and the next morning. And I said, I will never do that again, because that was very dangerous. She could have had a couple friends off to the side to pull me out. And So don't ever open the door. Just crack the window, and it was good advice that Joe Russo gave, and I learned the hard way even before I heard from Joe. So
One of my favorite things to give people as just a quick aside is if you have a vehicle and you have a clicker, where it locks and it turns your lights on outside and you blink, blink, blink. I just had an incident at a Walmart, and all of a sudden at 2:00 in the morning, there's all this noise outside, just, things going on. And instead of my peeping through a window or trying to like see what's going on, I grabbed my clicker, which of course is beside me as I'm sleeping, or within arm's reach, and I locked it again. They don't know whether you're walking to the vehicle or if you're already in it. So it's just a deterrent to let people know, oh, geez, there is someone in there, or, oh, geez, someone knows what I'm doing. So it gets them more unsettled than you actually.
Yeah, that's a good tip too. So where is this taken? What is this?
This is one of my favorite. I tell everybody, if you're going to go on a road trip, you got to go to Casey, Illinois. It's one of my favorite places ever. I know you're going to laugh. I need to do a better video on this place because it really was. I need to go back. Casey, Illinois, if you're going like from Metropolis up on your way to Chicago, it's off the highway, off the beaten path. They have the world's largest mailbox, the world's largest rocking chair, the world's largest golf tee, the world's largest crochet needles, the world's largest truck key. I can't tell you how many world's largest things they have, and it is hilarious.
Where is this?
Casey, Illinois, Casey.
Where is that located? We might like Bloomington.
It's north of Metropolis, so it's like on your way to Shampoo Banana, on your way to Champaign Urbana, Illinois. I was taking my youngest son on a trip to Door County, Wisconsin, and he was at that. He's like, "Oh, Mom," I'm like, "Oh no, you're gonna love this. Trust me, we're gonna go."
We need to do a roundup, a Vanbury caravan. Is it by Route 66? Got to be by Route 66 a little bit.
Not
right?
exactly, but it's worth a shot.
It's worth. Wow.
Gotta
That's just goofy enough stuff to. Let's see. We got a couple more. Let's say this is a beautiful photograph.
Yeah.
Anybody guess where Charlie Gray's Adventures was?
This was like a big deal because this was my first like big trip with the Echo. Like I just got it in June. I decided, this is crazy. I left Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, went around Lake Ontario, took a hard right, went to Iowa for Camp Winnebago, and then went here.
And this is where?
It's at the Badlands. Yep, in South Dakota.
One of my favorite places ever. Anything that's got this kind of erosion just immediately has my attention. That's a beautiful photograph. Good job.
Well, the dog was waiting for me. What you can't see is she was sitting in the front seat, just staring at me going, "Why did you leave me in the car?"
That's so great. And then this is also in your Echo. What's the situation here?
So this is, I always say, people say you can't park it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can park it. And this was actually in a little town in, I think it was in Canada, actually on the way down, and stopped for dinner, went to go over and look at the lake and the beach. Really nice.
Yeah. Don't you love small towns?
Oh, I do. It's my favorite.
And big towns. I love, I even love being in the woods for a night or two, just for a night or two. I don't do well in darkness. Let's see. We got a bunch of folks in here saying some stuff. So let's go back to here. Matt, here's Denham saying, nice to meet you. A peace, love, and Vans. We were parked across from you, Denham Root. Yeah, she's great, right? Here's Matt. Oh, he wants to hear more about your comedy writing.
Ooh.
Do you write for a show, movie, comic? Do tell.
Yes. I have done all of the above, and I've sold quite a bit over the years to a lot of comics that you probably know. And I have a lot of NDAs I can't talk about because I've sold to a lot of comics, which is sort of fun. So, which is nice. I write story, anecdotal things, and people can shop it. And also I co-write, sort of like a songwriter. I co-write with other people too. So I can't talk a lot of that, but let's just say if you're familiar with the Cool Whip skit from back in the day on Family Guy, yours truly is responsible for that. So
that's cool. A star in her own right. David's got and I do like a good comedy show. It's
oh, I do too.
I always sit way back because I don't want to be in any of the attention, But one of the great ones, cruise ships always have a good comedian usually on board, and there's a couple of shows. One of them, we've almost done this a few times. One of his great little quips was, here's how you can really confuse your neighbors, because a lot of cruisers, they put all the magnets on their cabin door.
Right,
Say, take all the magnets and put them on the door right next door. So
genius.
they're trying to bang on the door and get inside when they're actually banging on the neighbors. And I'm like, that's a beautiful move, actually. And here's David's got a great quote. With all these friends in here, I feel like we are at a digital campfire, and I agree. It's just so great to have your group in here, my group in here, our group at large, and time for digital s'mores. Yes, sir. And chocolate goes really good with bourbon. By the way, I'm having Clyde Mays tonight. Speaking of Alabama, I do like this.
We got to send some special. We got to spend some special vibes out to our friends up the Buffalo Trace, because they are flooded in Kentucky right now. So if you like Buffalo Trace, oh yes, like it's all underwater. It's 6 feet under. It's pretty bad.
That is bad. Let's see. Here's Matt. Charlie, that's a great idea. I'm going to start photoshopping myself jumping in front of famous landmarks.
It is cheaper travel. It is.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I thought I saw Sue. Hi, Sue. So he's out buzzing around, and she's, I guess, working. That's pretty funny. Sherry's got a good question here for you. They're all good questions. Ooh. I can use my question format: 3 stars, 3 question marks. What percentage of time do you travel solo, with a few others, or at meetups? And that's kind of where we're going with the next. But go ahead. That's a good one.
So I'm going to use this January, February, March as a good example, because in the wintertime, there's the Tampa RV show, and there's Van Fest, and there's Peace Loving Bands. And so typically it's like an event, 2 or 3 weeks in between, and another event, because there's a lot of people that I want to go see or visit with. And those events are great places to hang out and meet up with those people. So I don't mind doing small huddles myself and going camping with people. But because of the vehicle I'm in, I love to boondock. I don't have to be plugged in. A lot of other people do. So I can boondock very easily for 14 days and not have to worry about a thing. Between my solar, I've got 50 gallons of water. So wow. I'm pretty set. Yeah.
Wow. How often do you travel solo versus people in your rig, maybe your kids?
So I would say 98% of the time. I'm pretty much, yeah. The dog doesn't count.
Don't ask him. That's not what he's going to say. But you do go to a lot of meetups. So we want to talk about your YouTube channel. You've got a great YouTube channel. You've really been exploding in growth the last couple months. Congratulations on that. Where am I at here, Scott? There we are. If you're not subscribed, you're very busy, like you say, on the talk and the gram and the tube, and I'm just kind of stuck to the tube, I guess. I don't know, but I love your thumbnail thing here, and you got some really cool stuff. And what of the pictures you sent over, I think this is, I probably, what's the right way to say this? I most admire this because, like me, it's about the people. I mean, the band's cool. Where it takes you is cool, but it's the people you meet along the way, and hopefully helping others, like many in this audience tonight on the live and on the replay, helping people better their lives. I mean, it is not lost on me. I know it's not lost on you. What are we looking at here? This is a group of RVing women, maybe?
This is fun. So I was asked to be a speaker at the National RVing Women Conference last year in York, PA. And this is one of their largest chapters. This is the Mid-Atlantic chapter, and I'm part of that too, which is fun. So it was just a really great experience, because a lot of these women have been, they might be married and their husband doesn't want to go camping or doesn't want to go out and travel, and they gives them an opportunity to do that. I love that. I love to support that. It was just really great to see people who have, you think someone has 20 years experience camping. A lot of these women are like 2 or 3 years out. They're just learning. And these ladies are pulling like fifth wheels, driving Class A's and vans. They're doing the whole gamut. So I was just really impressed, and they inspired me. Yeah,
right. That's pretty cool. This next one is interesting too. A little bit smaller group maybe, but
yeah. So I gave a talk at this one on how to travel with pets. And this was an interesting story because a lot of the ladies there had pets, and one lady had traveled with parrots. So I had to rethink and talk about how to travel with parrots in a small class C.
Parrots?
Yes.
Like a bird.
Like a bird. Oh, yes.
Just checking. Wow. That's crazy. That would be interesting.
It was interesting. It was cool, though. I was really interested because, I mean, they live for a very long time. So if you want to go travel, you have to think about what are you going to do with them.
Right. And this one I love. We can barely find you in here, but it is a large group. What are we looking at here? This is
I'm right in the middle somewhere. So this is a glamp out. This is called a glamp out. It happens every year in northeastern Ohio, and individuals from Detroit all the way Cleveland, this whole area, all over the country come. It started by the Adventure Bandits. Adventure Bandits were actually an RV Unplugged, and I've been going to this for a couple years in a row. And it's just the most diverse group of campers. First off, the food's amazing. The dancing's amazing. The music's amazing. And these people deck out their campers and their campground area. It's in Mineral City at a small little, it's called, I think it's Atwood Park, if I'm not mistaken. But they go all out. I mean, when I go all out, I mean all out. I've never seen more stuff at a campground than at this event.
That would be fun.
It's fun. A lot of fun.
Next time we're doing something Go Small Live Large event wise in person, we're going to be doing some I think themed stuff. I think that would be great fun, right? And even I think happening right now, I think is like Renaissance festivals. They go for a whole month on the weekends, and so I'm even trying to think about doing some stuff like that. But yeah, it's just so much fun piggybacking on somebody else's event. So you're not focused on event production, you're focused on the people and having fun, and it's a whole different thing. And then this one, looking over at my screens, where's my cursor? Right here, Scott. This one's pretty cool. This looks like a bunch of Echo peoples. This
past year's Florida Echo meetup down outside Tampa, and this was a give back, which this was very sweet and near and dear to my heart. This was in Valrico, Florida, for the Forgotten Angels. It was a program that helps kids who have aged out of the foster system. So we actually stayed on their property, and I think we had at least over 50 Echoes, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And I think Justin's in there somewhere. I know some people that are online. They're in this picture right now, which is good.
Oh yeah, there he is, kind of in the middle, the tall one.
Can't miss
looking at my third screen because it's hard to see on this one. But and you like to go to these things. I do too. We did a whole bunch of them in February and March. We're going to be doing a bunch more go forward basis. But how do you kind of find these things? Where your plans take you over the next few months? And
I've been working really hard. This is something that I found. I had a little FOMO when I first got my van. I was like,
FOMO stands for
fear of missing out. I had fear of missing out. I'm like, there's all these really cool things. And I really wanted to find my tribe when I first got my van, because RV life is different from van life. It really is. So I started making a list. I just started getting all these different events from all over the country, North America and Canada too, and started compiling them together. So on my website, I put the events I'm going to be attending. But if you want to see all the events, all you have to do is go to vanlife.travel. And I have all these van life events listed in there. And they're everything from glamping to overlanding to summit, just typical campgrounds and meetups. But they're pretty good meetups, and try them out. You might like it.
Yeah, that's super great. I love that. There's a number of, like, RV Miles has a really good list too. The Russos, where the Russos do as well.
Yep.
Here's Beyond the Fern, Frisco T. Hello, everyone from Las Vegas. 92 degrees and sunny. Wow. Forgot you're 3 hours behind. It's okay. Here, Matt wants to talk potty talk with Scott. So you've been in a number of RVs. What's your favorite and or least favorite style of toilet?
Okay, so we'll go with simple: black tank, compost, cassette. Okay, we'll talk about those three. I love my compost. It's super simple, easy, bada bing, bada boom, easy. You don't have to, if you're building a van, it's also the easiest thing to install because you just pick it up, put it in, you're good to go. You can detach it. I would say right now I have a cassette toilet. I was terrified of my cassette toilet because I was used to a black tank before this, and I had 11 gallons of, I don't have to dump, for a long time. I would say this is probably the easiest one to dump. It's the hardest to keep the smell down, if that makes any sense. So I would say compost is easier to keep the smell down, but cassette it works.
As you're emptying it, or as it's kind of
Some
being
people
used?
have, it's just a different, it's sort of hard. I don't know. I'm still working through it.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I'm very much potty talk with Scott. Thank you, Matt. Oh, investigating swapping out my black tank for the Separate Tiny. I fell
Mhm.
in love with that toilet. I
They're
am
great.
terrified of the cassette. I was so enamored with the unlimited capacity on the Separate Tiny.
I know.
So potty talk with Scott.
But wait. But isn't it interesting how I bet you were terrified of using it for the first time, and then when you realized how easy it was, you're like, "Where's this?"
Horrified.
Yeah.
Horrified, disgusted, grossed out. I'm a
Uh-huh.
boy. I had to sit to pee. What in the hell? And I kind of sit to pee at night anyway because I don't have to see anything. I just, right. But I really did turn into a huge fan of that, and yeah, it's kind of interesting how that goes. Here's the Broken Nomad, Pimp the Book. What's the book they're talking
Oh,
about here?
he's talking about my RVing with pets, RVing with dogs. It is on Amazon. You can look it up, Charlie Grace, and it was a best-selling ebook for a while out there, which is really cool. So yeah, I've learned a lot, and I've shared a lot of stories of things that have worked over the years. From starting, if you have a dog and you've never gone RVing before in your life, and how are they going to get adjusted to it, or a cat, and now I can talk parrots.
Parrots, you're so cuddly. There's actually been a parrot in our family, Kyle's family, for years. The bird's name is Lucky.
Mhm.
It's now with his oldest sister. But they've probably had this bird for 30 years, 40 years. It's
Wow.
bilingual bird. It speaks Vietnamese and English. It's the funniest thing. All of mom's pets are bilingual. It's pretty hysterical. Here's Broken Nomad saying their office is 2 blocks from the Alamo.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I love San Antonio. One of the greatest places I was at, other than the Riverwalk and all the cool stuff downtown and all the history there, is I think it was there's 3 still functioning churches, missions. I can think of a more appropriate one. I think of the San Jose Mission.
Mhm.
Still a functioning parish
Wow.
for like 700 years or some crazy thing, and I got this super great treasure in the back. So a lot of great times in San Antonio. Have you been to the? Are you a big fan, Charlie, of Harvest Host?
I'm holding myself back on this for a reason. I think the concept is fantastic. I love supporting small businesses, not-for-profits. I love a good brewery that I can go get a nice beer and pizza and that kind of thing. I love that. I will say it's become more of a treat than a necessity these days, because I do like RV overnights, Harvest Host. It's like VRBO, Airbnb, same kind of idea. I love them both. I will say RV overnights is a lot cheaper on the membership side. They're both $30 a night to spend, no matter where you go. But I tend to use them on the weekends. I know this sounds weird. That's sort of like my Saturday night treat. Like I'll go to a winery and have a whole day and enjoy it and have a nice little meal and then spend the night.
That's cool. San Antonio has one of my favorite Harvest Host sites. It's the Texas Air Museum.
Oh, nice.
And really amazing volunteer air museum. It's on the municipal airport, but across the street is the sheriff's office helipad, and they have 3 helicopters. 2 of them, the times I've been there, up and down all hours of the day and night. It's just so fascinating. Here's Aaron. We're going to talk about some advice here in just a minute. Get you some advice from you. So here's Aaron. No problem being late. Here's Karen. Thank you for your comments. Everybody's been so gracious, Charlie. We talked about this before going live about my situation last week and all the best wishes, and we'll do a deeper dive next week on that. Hope to have some additional news. Embassy RV has been super great, but everybody has been really, really wonderful, very supportive, very scary. I have a lot more. We were talking about this before going live. These life-changing events. As a YouTuber, I feel it's an obligation to be transparent. as much as possible so that it helps people get on the road, stay on the road, maybe get on the road more quickly, because you never know when life's going to throw you a curveball. So but everybody's been just so gracious. So thank you, Karen. And let me know if you're seeing any comments there, Charlie. So here's Tina saying, how are you guys doing?
Hey,
this is from your channel. This is
she's
great.
awesome. A Michigander. Awesome.
Michigander. Michigander. This is great. And you're doing a YouTube live at the top of the hour, right?
Of course. I'm going to go live. You know what? When you got the dynamic duo going on of us together on a Wednesday, I can't think of anything more fun. You guys can start with doing What's Up Wednesday and then come over and I'll give you a good giggle.
That's 100% true. So here's David saying Silver Falls State Park in Oregon is amazing. 10 waterfalls. Great hike in addition to the falls. Man, I have not been there, but this is what I was thinking about. Multnomah Falls in Oregon. Thank you, Roger and Jane. That's it.
They would know.
And if you haven't been there, you really owe yourself a treat. My recommendation is not to park in the lot across from the lodge, but go to the one that's in between the divided freeway and take the underpass. Be warned, they do not allow drones. Kyle tried to sneak that up and go on weekday afternoons, because it's pretty crazy. Toadfish. Oh yeah, this is your what is your toadfish again?
Toadfish. It's a toadfish. It's just a tumbler on toadfish. I love this. It's called the non-tipping 20-ounce pint tumbler. Ooh la la.
Maybe that's what I need now with a sippy cup thing.
I love these.
It's so great. But I do love my glassware. Right.
Well, okay. So when you're camping and traveling, I like it too. But bugs, I can't leave it sit. I always have to have something on top because I'm always terrified a bug's going to get inside.
Well, if a bug climbs in here, red wine's the worst, right? Wine.
Yeah.
They just attract bugs. But bourbon, this will kill most things around a bug. So I just flick the bug out. We got a few more questions, but I had here's one from want to get a piece of advice for somebody that isn't in an RV yet, or is kind of on the fence. What would your advice be? This is kind of a buyer's market, I would say, but what might some advice be as we round out the hour? Just a couple more questions here. Thoughts on that topic?
So my best advice when people think about buying an RV, and I wish I would have done this, so this is the advice I want you to take that I didn't take myself, is go rent. I know it's going to sound like a weird thing. Go rent what you think you want. I think if I would have rented the first time, I would have had a better idea. Floor plan, drivability, towable versus, whatever you're thinking, go rent. And I know it's going to sound expensive. They're going to say, oh, it's $150 or it's $200 a night. It's a small price to pay than being stuck with a very, very large note of something you really don't want. So that would be the first thing I would do. It would be rent. And then after that, start making your list of things that really are important to you and go to your lovely dealerships and start talking to people.
Yeah. Watch lots of YouTube videos. Really discover, I think, what your non-negotiables are.
Yes.
Mine do keep vacillating, which is interesting. Now in my 7th year of doing this, toilet was a non-negotiable. Now I'm open to that. My front lounge was a non-negotiable. That's kind of a non-negotiable for me, kind of what you're sitting at, right? Just this table and able to do things.
Separate bathroom. I have to have a separate bathroom. Some people don't care about that. I need that.
Yeah. So it's really fascinating, and spend time. And if a dealer just wants to make you a deal and trying to kick you out or not let you stay, and really plan through that day, night, morning, wrong dealer. I mean, you're buying an RV, but you're buying a relationship with your dealer, and it's like a marriage.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for best price, be prepared for a grumpy long-term relationship. I'm just saying, right?
Service counts.
Service counts a lot. Service counts a lot. So Justin, who is an Echo owner, has a question here. Charlie, we're going to let you go here in just a couple minutes. So what is your favorite mod you've done to the Echo so far? I think he put a plant in his, and that was his favorite mod.
Wouldn't surprise me. Personally, I mean, other than I've done electrical upgrade, but that doesn't count because I didn't do it. I paid someone to do it. My favorite mod that I've done is I actually added a lagoon table on a swivel mount with the folding top from Canyon Adventure Vans, because it makes my space a little different and gives people an option. So if I have someone with me, or if I want to sit differently, because I do work in my Echo a lot, especially on bad weather days, I have different views. What if I want to look out this window versus looking straight this way? So for me, it didn't come with it, and it was the best money I spent.
Yeah, it's good point on that. And I would encourage people to try a plant. I couldn't live without my plants.
I have
beta
plants.
fish, I did manage to kill a plant and a beta fish in my van crash, but poor Tonto.
Oh, wait. I have one more. I'm sorry. One more.
Yeah.
I forget. This is the new. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm all excited. Sea sucker. I know it sounds awkward, but I haven't been able to put a lot of things on the outside of my rig, and I should have done this on my van. I never did, but I finally got a sea sucker table that sticks on the side of my rig, and it extends. I talk, and I can use it to cook on and do things on outside, because I like to cook outside and be outside more than inside.
Yeah, well said. Appreciate that. Here's Frisco T saying, love Casey, love that town, so fun to roam around. I'm putting that on my list. Well, hopefully going to be in the greater Chicagoland, upper Midwest this summer. Let's see. I know you got to run. Just see if there's any last questions. Here's Gonzo saying, good night, I'm tired. No worries. It's been a week. It's been a month.
Been a week.
Well, this is kind of so. Frisco T wants to know Beyond the Fern, which is another YouTube channel, solo female traveler. Sorry if you answered this already. I was late. What has been your favorite rig, and what is your favorite feature in it?
My favorite rig. So every rig has said something different that I like the best. I will say, like, the first rig, I liked that it was a corner bed, sort of like your floor plan per se. It was very easy, no slides, so it was simple. I like the simplicity of it, and it was easy to get around in. The second rig, I liked having a separate bedroom. That was amazing. I loved having that space where I could, compartmentalize and put things in. The third rig was the van, and I liked having the double beds. Ironically, the openness of the space with all the windows, so you never felt you were too enclosed. That was a real nice thing of having all those windows all the way around. And I would say the Echo is really, there's not much I can't do with this. I mean, really, truly, it is something that I feel very empowered having an Echo, and it's a Spreco. I gotta say, it's a Sprinter Echo. I feel very empowered to go anywhere, do anything, park anywhere, go to any kind of event. And I know for a fact I can get out, and I'm very prepared for any kind of, if I get stuck or things like that. But it's a much bigger boondocking machine, I guess is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
If you don't, do you mind if I drop a link for my live after yours?
No, go ahead.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just stick it in the chat. So
jump over there in just a moment. Got a lot more great questions. Just for that last question. We got a lot of folks. Got to put the kids to bed. Can you find a Renaissance fair? Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, and kind of getting dressed up. I don't know. I have this desire to dress up these days. It's kind of.
Are you going to be one of those Star Trek guys who dresses up as Star Trek?
Not at the Renaissance Festival. Just we do a lot of this. So Kyle, when we do like family dinners or parties, we have a theme. So it's either everybody dressed in white or have something pink, or it's just a lot of fun. You can't beat the Texas Renaissance Festival. Holy cow.
That sounds fun.
I know. It's so
do you
great.
two-step at a Texas Renaissance Festival?
My gosh, we're gonna miss. Jeff got a question for us. Either of you have any camping recommendations near Ocala, Florida?
Well, like glamping or just camping? Because I mean, the horse park, you can camp at the horse park, which is pretty nice. The big horse park in Ocala, Florida.
I would have to do some searching.
And there is a resort. There is a resort near Ocala now.
Yeah. So there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a wrap. We're going to see you at the Charlie Grace. I'm going to have to fill my glass medicine. I need
Well,
to
I'm
eat some.
if I'll tell you right now, for everyone who's on here who doesn't make it next, I'm gonna go live in just a second. So give me a minute, guys. Let me just like run and brush my teeth or comb my hair or do something. Who knows?
Use that cassette toilet, ma'am.
I'll use a cassette toilet, but if you have a Winnebago, I'm just putting it out there right now. If you have a Winnebago and you like mods and you're interested in doing something to your Winnebago and you're a small class C or class B in Amana, Iowa, the last weekend of May, it's May 30th through June 2nd. I'm the modulator for these people that come up. It's at the Amana RV Center. And if you want any more information, just shoot me a message and I'll send it over to you.
That is so cool. That's probably on your website, fair
Yes.
assumption. We
Yep.
can talk more about that, but we just want to say a big thank you to Charlie for carving out time tonight and everybody for joining us tonight on the live and the replay. I just love this kind of stuff. Great group in here tonight. And here's her link. So just go
I'll
to
see you guys over
Charlie
there.
Grace on YouTube. We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week from a cruise ship, and we'll talk in more detail how things are percolating in my situation. Charlie, God love you. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Oh, and there's lights turning on outside. Okay, so all right. Thank you, everybody. God love you. Peace be with you. Thank you. Thanks, Charlie. See you in a minute. Thanks, everybody.